the bravery of youth that we saw displayed by Tracy. Round the outside, a daring move on cold tires at the early stages. But Tracy, look at the command he has.
And Robbie Gordon saw that it worked, so he came around Nigel Mansell, picked up third place. Mansell back to fourth.
Gordon loves that outside move. During practice and qualifying, he was the highest line driver on a regular basis because he said, that's where I like to race. That gives me the opportunity. And we saw that on his move on Mansell.
So Robbie Gordon, a man on a mission. He wants to get up in those points. So he's in a good position for the start of next year. Raul Boisel now closing in on Mario Andretti. Raul looking for any position that he can find. Mario's never won here, but he is comfortable on this track. He won when this was a dirt track years ago. And Roger Penske bought it, paved it over. There's our latest winner, Jacques Villeneuve. He runs in sixth.
Something unique about Villeneuve in qualifying, he was the only driver who actually changed gear. He went through turns 3 and 4, or turn 3 in 5th gear, and changed up a gear down this front straight. I don't think he likes to do that all through the race, though.
Raul closing up on Mario Andretti. A battle for fourth place.
Mario, one of the most difficult drivers to pass. He knows how to position his car between the concrete walls here. You better not just poke your nose inside, Mario. You better get all the way down, or he will chop your nose off.
Mario's teammate, Nigel Mansell. You have an update, Gary?
Indeed, the defending champion, Paul, experiencing some handling difficulties. Massive oversteer, they're saying. The car very loose. Also, Scott Goodyear reporting his car is loose. So already in the opening handful of laps, loose conditions under this bright sun for a couple of drivers.
A bright sun should be the factor for the entire day, but the wind is very brisk, blowing head-on down the main straightaway right now. Jan Beekes, you have more?
Well, according to Nigel Mansell's situation, we're checking into that. And Nigel is asking, did anyone touch me? Did I have contact? The car is handling that bad that I feel at the moment as though maybe there's something askew in the front of my car.
Well, we certainly didn't see any obvious contact.
Mansell so spectacular here when he won the race and the championship last year, but loose has been one of the biggest problems here all weekend. Goodyear came here with a bigger stagger tire than they've ever come here with. Some cars like it. The cars that don't like it are inherently loose. Let me tell you, a loose handling car between these concrete walls at these speeds is downright scary for the driver.
Well, and as a matter of fact, in an Indy car, when they set the car up, correct me if I'm wrong, with a new driver, they always like to put push into the car and then work back to loose just because of the danger factor. The leaders back in traffic now as they encounter the back of the field for the first time today. Tracy, then Fittipaldi, but Fittipaldi staying very tight on Tracy, keeping a close eye.
Tracy's so good, so brave, has made mistakes in the past, but he is a man that's hard to catch when he is on form. But he knows he can't make many mistakes here. Will he stay with Penske? Will he move on? We do not know that yet.
And Jacques Villeneuve now moving up in the field as once again the Penskes stay in contact, and Paul Tracy is able to sweep around a slower car. And now Fittipaldi comes around as well, so they stay back in contact. Jacques Villeneuve was able to move up into fourth place and get right behind Robbie Gordon. There he is, and that's Gordon just ahead.
Gordon without the benefit of his regular engineer, Tim Wardrop here. We now look over Gordon's shoulder. Tim Wardrop from England. At home, his son took ill, so he did the right thing. He's with his family. However, he gives the team the setup before they get here. And they have done a superb job. Look at that outside line again for Gordon. That's Mike Croft down the inside. But Gordon loves to be daring. Now he's outside
Villeneuve. Villeneuve gets down on the inside, splits Gordon to the outside now. They both come around and are trying to get around. I was going to suggest that they both made it around Matsushita, but only Villeneuve did it. And so that moves him into third place. Gordon got caught.
And you got the view from the driver's seat as Villeneuve creeps down the inside when Gordon was busy going around the outside.
So at the front of the field, Paul Tracy, Emerson Fittipaldi, Then Jacques Villeneuve, and look at there.
He's in trouble.
Oh, Boycel, as he comes flying around Gordon. Now, what do we have? We have a problem with Gordon.
He is clearly in trouble. If he moves high and cars pass him that easily, he is in trouble. Jan Beekes has more.
Yes, we found out a few laps ago that he radioed in and said the car was starting to become loose. Just like you said, Derek, obviously things have gotten much worse. We're standing by in case he ducks into the pits.
Well, second driver to report that everything is loose. Is that because they set these cars up when it was not nearly as sunny as it is right now?
It could be. Temperature has such a large effect on these racing cars. I don't want to blame Goodyear or say Goodyear. They have come here with a tire that is different than before. However, it's much faster than before.
Battle now, Stefan Johansson, as again they split a slower car, and again it comes to the advantage of the challenger as Stefan Johansson comes around around Gordon and moves into fourth place.
Well, Gordon may be forced to make a pit stop earlier than he wants here. He is losing so much time on the racetrack. It may pay him to come out of sequence, get into the pits, and try and get it fixed.
So it's Paul Tracy that jumps the lead early on and takes it away from Fittipaldi, but we've got a great battle at the front of the field, and Al Unser is up to 10th. 21 laps are complete at the Bosch Park Plug Grand Prix as Paul Tracy is the leader of the race. For the time being, at least, Fittipaldi has dropped back as Tracy now has the very difficult task of circling his way through traffic, which he must do the entire day, unless, of course, there is a caution that packs the field up again. But remember, at this race just last year, they ran bright green all the way.
Emotional roller coaster for Tracy as we look back. He did have that baby boy on Tuesday named Conrad. Got home. Now from Johansson, who wasn't as quick in practice and qualifying because he had wastegate troubles, but he is flying.
And Nigel Mansell peels off and heads for his stop. His teammate Mario was in a little earlier, Gary.
Yeah, Mansell is coming in, and that handling condition is just too bad, so they're bringing him in early. Watch for changes up there in the front wing. We think they're going to make a couple of turn adjustment. The tires and the fueling process is routine. Now the change on the left front side, and it is a massive change. Mansell still waiting, ready to go. Now they complete the change on the right side. He's rolling in just under 15 seconds, but a costly early stop on the handling for Nigel Mansell.
Well, Gary reported a massive change to the left side. We saw a rather massive change to the right as well.
4 big turns of that front wing, reduced it down for us, try and at least get a safety factor built into this car, because if he doesn't get the loose condition out of it, he can't hope to be a challenge at all. Gordon again goes around the outside.
On board, Mansell now. Continuing green flag racing, 25 laps into the record book. Jacques Villeneuve, followed by Boycel and by Johansson. Johansson looked like he washed the back end there for just a second, but he stays in close contact on Raoul. Three-way battle for third place.
Yeah, Boycel and Johansson have had a good run here. Sometimes you guess on the setup, and if you guess right, you can be so much faster than cars that are in trouble here. Things happen so fast, and you remember you're in corners more often here than any other racetrack they go to.
Al Unser Jr. continues to try and fight his way to the front. Take a look at this. He started in 18th place. He now runs up in 6th. And Eddie Cheever started 23rd. He's now running in 8th. He had a great run during the morning warm-up, and it's proving to last here in the race itself. Let's go to the pits again, and Gary.
Let's follow up on that Mario Andretti situation. He did have a punctured tire. He had a tire going down. That's why his early stop. And we are getting constant reports from other drivers, including Lyondike. We've mentioned Gordon at Goodyear, all having handling difficulties, trying to find that very delicate balance. Looks like Eddie Cheever, who was so happy this morning, Paul, they may have found the sweet spot.
Well, and I'll tell you, a guy with a really sweet spot is Al Unser Jr. As yet another pass around Johansson. Now he's trying to set sights on Boycel.
And sometimes sometimes it looks easy, but a man with an awful lot of problems as Michael Andretti has been nowhere near the pace all weekend here. Said the car was horrible, it scares him, and all the changes they made in the warm-up this morning has come to naught. But Al Jr. is on a charge.
And as you saw there, Michael already lapped by the leaders. Expect spectacular crowd here in Nazareth this weekend. The stands are full, and they've added a couple of new ones.
You might ask how come Al Jr. qualified so badly all the way down in 18th place. Well, he tried brand new sticker tires, and he could not get enough temperature into those tires. Therefore, he was just had half a second off the pace, and Mario's back in.
Mario with more trouble as he's back in the pits. The indication was that he had a wheel weight come off of that car. That isn't going to help the handling, so they came back in to effect a repair. Gary Gerald, can you update that?
Well, Paul, I don't know if it would relate to a wheel weight problem, but they did make a huge change on the right front wing for Mario as he made that very quick stop.
Back now, focusing on Jacques Villeneuve as Al Unser Jr. continues to charge on him. Little Al, boy, look at this run comes up through the field. Now Little Al in third place. Penske cars run 1, 2, 3.
Al Jr., as you know, spends more time working on his race setup. Practice and qualifying doesn't interest him that much. Only when you put 40 gallons of fuel in, that's what he likes to work on. Here's the benefit right here. He seems to be able to have the consistency of handling, not just to be fast in one lap, but Al Jr. seems to be able to protect those tires, and we've seen it earlier in oval tracks this year. Now we see it here again from our champion.
And remember, Al Unser Jr. not satisfied just with a championship as he swings to the outside around slower traffic, comes around Rahal now. He wants another win. In fact, he would like 2 more.
Just look at the speed Al Jr. has over everybody. Inside, outside, it doesn't make any difference. There's enough room here. This is turn 1 that's flat out in top gear. Roll out of the power here. Just balance the car over the top of the hill. This is a hill. That's Jimmy Vasser down to the inside. Then the plunge and the run downhill to turn 3 under braking.
Couple of reports from the pits now. First, Gary Gerald.
Relating to that situation for Al Unser Jr., Richard Buck, his crew chief, was taking a lot of heat from his teammates. Say they were back in 18th position. They were going for the bonus money that Championship Auto Mechanics provide for the car that passes the most positions. He's already gained 15. He's got his eye on more money. Jan?
Speaking about Raul Boisel, who has moved his way up into 5th place, we said everyone's going loose. Well, we checked with Dick Simon, team owner. He says, well, we're actually pushing. Now, of course, if that car is pushing now, maybe that car will really hit the sweet spot in a few laps. Raul Boisel on the move.
Well, Boisel trying to battle with Jacques Villeneuve, but a couple of laps ago, guys, you can't believe he was down on the rumble strip. The car gave a big pitch. He got it back under control and continues his pursuit of Boisel.
Oh, that looked like a bit of a scary move to me. When you're 23 years of age, you don't mind sticking wheels on the grass. You won't get away with that very often when you run at this speed between the concrete walls, as Rahal, who's obviously in trouble, gets passed by Boisel. That's Boisel chasing Villeneuve right ahead. Whoa! Round the outside, one of the Penskes.
You noticed on the earlier coverage that Paul Tracy is also able to slide past everybody and has now lapped most of the field. Fittipaldi still runs in 2nd place and tries to stay in contact. So Paul Tracy is the leader, followed by Fittipaldi and then Al Unser Jr. 3 Penske cars at the top. Then Villeneuve and that battle with Boisel. Back at the Bosch Sparkplug Grand Prix, Nazareth, Pennsylvania, Arie Luyendyk just pulled behind the wall. Problems with his gearbox. He is out of the race. Paul Tracy is still the leader, as there you see the rundown at the conclusion of 42 laps, but they run so fast.